The constellation Cygnus, known as the Swan, is one of the most recognizable star patterns in the night sky. Its mythology is rich and varied, with connections to Greek gods, tragic heroes, and celestial transformations. Though there are multiple legends associated with Cygnus, the most well-known involve Zeus, the tale of Phaethon, and a devoted friend who became a swan. One of the most famous myths tied to Cygnus is the story of Zeus and Leda. According to legend, Zeus, the king of the gods, fell in love with Leda, a mortal queen. In order to seduce her, he transformed into a majestic swan and either sought her protection from an eagle or visited her by the banks of a river. As a result of their union, Leda gave birth to 4 children, 2 of whom were the famous twins Castor and Pollux, also known as the Dioscuri and Helen of Troy, whose beauty would later spark the Trojan War. This story of deception and divine intervention is one of the most well-known connections between Cygnus and Greek mythology. Another well-known tale is the story of Phaethon, the son of Helios, the sun god. Phaethon was determined to prove his divine lineage by driving his father's chariot, which carried the sun across the sky. However, he was unable to control the fiery horses, causing chaos as the chariot veered too close to the earth, scorching the land and creating deserts. To prevent further destruction, Zeus struck him down with a thunderbolt, causing him to fall from the sky into the river Eridanus. Cygnus, a devoted friend or relative of Phaethon, was heartbroken by his loss. He searched the river tirelessly, gathering Phaethon's remains and mourning his tragic fate. The gods, moved by his grief, transformed him into a swan and placed him in the stars as the constellation Cygnus. This version of the myth gives Cygnus a deeper meaning, symbolizing loyalty, devotion, and the sorrow of losing a loved one. The swan also appears in other traditions. In some versions of Greek mythology, Orpheus, the legendary musician, was transformed into a swan after his death and placed in the sky next to his lyre, represented by the nearby constellation Lyra. This poetic connection reinforces the swan as a symbol of beauty, grace, and transformation. Cygnus has also played a role in other cultures. In Hindu mythology, the swan is associated with the celestial bird Hamsa, a symbol of wisdom and enlightenment. In some Native American traditions, the constellation is seen as part of the great bird, a guardian of the heavens. The constellation itself is prominent in the summer and autumn skies, and it is home to the bright star Deneb, one of the vertices of the summer triangle. The shape of Cygnus is often seen as a swan in flight, its wings outstretched as it soars across the Milky Way. The mythology of Cygnus tells stories of love, loss, transformation, and celestial beauty. Whether it represents Zeus's disguise, the mourning of Phaethon, or the musical soul of Orpheus, Cygnus continues to inspire wonder. When we look up at the night sky and see the swan among the stars, we are reminded of these timeless myths and the deep connections between the heavens and human imagination.